And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys, I hope you're all well. Before we do get into today's video, as always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Guys, of course, still in the midst of the international break, so not a lot of news with regards to Liverpool sort of coming out. However, there is a sort of few bits and pieces with regards to the football club, players being mentioned here, players being mentioned there, of which we're going to be discussing in today's video. But let's discuss the sort of Luis Diaz situation. A lot of media outlets have took this sort of interview with his father stating that he wants to push a transfer to Barcelona, wants to do this, wants to do that, wants to leave Liverpool. You know what the sort of English media can be like with the headlines, and basically, yeah, have been kind of pushing this agenda that he wants to push for a move to Barcelona. However, guys, we have got the sort of real transcript of what actually been said, and that wasn't the case with regards to it, and Luis Diaz is not trying to pursue a move to Barcelona. His father just simply said he was a loyal supporter. I'll read the actual thing for yourself, and you can hear exactly what he said. He said, "The truth is I know very little bit about Barcelona at the moment. It is true that Luis is a loyal Barcelona fan, and it would be his dream to probably go there. So far, I would like to thank Porto and Liverpool so far the way he welcomed him and received him. Luis is a player who finds it easy to win fans over because of the way he is, because of his humility, his work, his dedication. He is a very disciplined player, thank God. There would be no problem if Luis went to Barcelona because it is a top team, one of the best in the world." So again, he didn't state that he's trying to make a move there. That's what he's really said with regards to the situation, and despite the headlines that you have seen, he has not suggested that Luis Diaz is at all trying to push for a move to Barcelona. As I said, I love Luis Diaz, and as I said, hopefully he stays at Liverpool for a very long time. It is true that a lot of Spanish or South American, Spanish speaking countries, South American youngsters, South American players, yes, do either support Real Madrid or Barcelona. That's just kind of normal, but as I said, he's more than happy at Liverpool. Following that, of course, his father simply being released recently. Of course, you've seen it with the 2 goals that he scored on international duty for Colombia, and now Liverpool are going to be chartering a jet out there for his family to come to Anfield to spend Christmas on Merseyside as well. A nice little class touch from the football club following the sort of ordeal that has been there over the last sort of couple of weeks. So yeah, very class touch there from Liverpool. And yeah, hopefully it's good to see him arrive, his family arrive on Merseyside. Now, in other news, guys, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold in this sort of English media when it comes to the national team is actually getting hyped up by a lot of our sort of media outlets recently. This was after he produced an outstanding display as England beat Malta 2-0 on Friday night, with the English press now lauding his ability in the midfield. While he finds himself caught between midfield and right back for Liverpool, Alexander is now purely viewed as a midfielder for England. He made his latest start in the role on Friday as the Three Lions struggled to put a lowly Malta side down with a 25-year-old, one of a few genuine positives on the night. Alexander-Arnold's ability to run games is nothing new to Liverpool supporters, but he is often overlooked when it comes to the national media. That was not the case this time around, with journalists across England making him their headline act. This is what the Times' Henry Winter had to say. Watching on at Wembley, he insisted he made a point and now deserves a bigger test. This is what he wrote. One person from Merseyside made some points on Friday. Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold showed that he can run a game for England as he'd craved. His passing was outstanding, whether he caressed around the corner to Phil Foden or driven over 60 yards to Harry Kane. He now needs to be tested against opponents more sophisticated than Wembley, guests ranked 171st in the world. In his column, Sammy McCoble in the Mail said he's passed the test with flying colours. This is what he said. Wearing England's iconic number 10 shirt, Alexander-Arnold flicked through his full repertoire here at a sold-out Wembley. 1- and 2-touch passing, dropping in between centre-backs to initiate attacks. Unrealingly precise mid to long range balls, driving runs into the opposition's half before releasing with impeccable timing. He passed his test with flying colours. It's time to see if he can hold his own in the engine room against a better opposition. Jamie Braidwood from The Independent said he has a bit of everything. He said Alexander-Arnold's the 4 and the 6 and the 8 wearing the 10 was given Wembley to do some free jazz. Asked what he wanted to be for England, Alexander-Arnold's response was a bit of everything. Jonathan Liu from The Guardian says this is not a drill. Trent Alexander-Arnold may be ready to play for central midfield for England. Southgate's most daring gambit was his one resounding success. At the very least, there was enough in those luxuriant long balls and stylish one-touch layoffs to to give him another look against a stronger opposition. Really, this is the central appeal with Alexander-Arnold for all is well, documented gifts and flaws as a player. You really want to give him the ball, you want to see what he does with it. In the player ratings, the Evening Standard, Dom Smith gave him a high 7 out of 10. Saw as much of the ball as any England player, while not everything came off for the Liverpool man. He was lively throughout, most of his long raking passes were typical precise. A player unlike any other England have. And then finally, the Mail's Craig Hope singled Alexander-Arnold as the man of the match with a 7.5 rating. This is what he said: probing passes is always an option, even if it little came from that positivity. Definitely worth persevering with the midfield role. Whether it was due to the narrative playing out before the game or genuinely did enough to convince the doubters, Liverpool's number 66 seemed to prove a point against Malta. It could give Jurgen Klopp food for thought going forward, with his vice-captain clearly preferring the freedom of the midfield. Now, this is always a well-documented situation with regards to the Liverpool space, obviously now getting that chance in the midfield for England, and of course we do have a lot of decent midfielders as well, but Trent himself has kind of came out stating that he wants to play in the midfield, so that's a situation that we may have to monitor going forward if that's something that we can try and do. I know Jurgen Klopp has experimented it and it has looked good, especially at the back end of last season, Trent playing within midfield. But certainly one that, I don't know, has fans sort of split on opinion. I still do think he's one of the greatest right backs in world football at the moment, most definitely in the Premier League. However, as I said, if his heart is in playing in midfield and he can try and get to the levels or get better to the levels that we've already got within this sort of engine room, then it will obviously be a no-brainer for me, most certainly. But as I said, England, the national media actually lauding Trent Alexander-Arnold for a change. Just over this last year and a half, it has always seemed he's never really been the fit for the media, never really been the fit for the English national team. So very good from his point of view. I know it means a lot to him to actually represent the country. And as I said, really, really good stuff to see him putting a very, very good performance in for the Three Lions. But again, the media reacting as well, which is very fantastic to see. Now, that's all I've really got for you today, guys, in terms of the actual news. Fairly quiet day, usually is the case during the international break, unfortunately. Just how everything is. However, we are ticking away. We are getting closer and closer to the Premier League returning. Of course, that big game on Saturday against Manchester City. And in the build-up to it, we reported to you yesterday's video that players have returned. Kanate, Joe Gomez, Ryan Gravenberch and Curtis Jones will be available for selection for that clash. And it does seem as though Haaland, there was an update with regards to him. He'll probably be fit for the game against Liverpool, of course, but has withdrawn from international duty. As I always say, Rodri as well as another player that's withdrawn. You know what Pep's like. He's a big liar. Pep just lies, and that's something that he will try and cover up and try and put his team in the best possible position for that game against Liverpool. But Liverpool fans, that's all I've really got for you today. Do you want to see Trent Alexander-Arnold play in the midfield for Liverpool on a more regular basis? Let me know down there in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video. As always, please do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Liverpool content. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.